Hey, welcome to another video episode with Aaron and Sarit. And today, an insanely heavy topic known as weight loss. But here's the problem. Here's the problem about weight loss. And I'm going to give you the greatest gift of all time right now by telling you, you do not get happier when you lose weight. This is not how the game is played. You do not get happier when you lose weight. Listen very closely. You lose weight when you learn how to love yourself better. Okay? The world has this shit turned upside down on its head where it's like, lose weight, get your dream body, and you'll be so happy. But even if you have surgery, usually nothing changes except for how you physically look. Even if somebody were to hand you a pill and say, bang, the weight's gone. Take this pill tonight, wake up in the morning tomorrow, and the weight's going to be gone. Are you going to be happier? You'll be like more excited maybe to look at yourself in the mirror, but truly deep down, nothing will change because you haven't changed.
Mm.
So we're going to get into this.
And what will happen when like the external has changed, but you haven't changed?
Yeah, it's a great question.
What normally happens?
That's a great question. And we're going to get into this. What does happen if you try to go about it from the perspective, if you're trying to lose weight from the perspective of when I lose weight, I'll be happy. And this can go with anything. When I get rich, I'll be happy. When I get that, husband or wife, or when I find love, I'll be happy. When I
drive this car,
when I get that house, when I have kids, I'll be happy. Like, happiness is a choice that we have to choose every single day. And you get what you want in life by choosing to be happy first. When you choose to be happy first, that's when you make different decisions. And that's when you act differently and you behave differently and you create different patterns in your life and you create different habits in your life. And those habits create different structure in your life. Why? Because you're already choosing you. You're already choosing to be happy. And so we're going to talk about, what does that look like? What do those behaviors look like? What does it look like if you're trying to go the mainstream route of like, oh, if I just diet and exercise, really extreme, then I'll lose weight. And then when I lose weight, I'll be happy. What happens if we go that route versus what does it look like to go the other route? And I love this topic because this was like an epiphany for me when I was struggling with my weight. And even in anything else in life that I've tried to get, any goal I've tried to achieve, I realize it has nothing to do with how I will feel once I've achieved that goal. And it has everything to do with how I feel about myself because of what I had to do to overcome the challenges that would allow me to receive the goal. And every day, if you're reaching forward, you're going through that process again in some way.
Yeah.
It's like, as humans, we go from caterpillar to butterfly, back to caterpillar to butterfly, back to caterpillar to butterfly. But it's like each time we come a more evolved version of caterpillar and a more beautiful, glorious, flowy, wise version of a butterfly.
As long as we choose to stay intentional about it, though.
So the next question is, what happens when you're not intentional?
Because I've also seen people who have lost a lot of weight and then stop being intentional. And what happens?
Very true, very true. Very
goes
true.
back up. So
very true.
Let's talk about it, shall we?
Yeah, okay. So there's like a bunch of mumbo jumbo I just spewed out of my mouth fountain.
The Fountain of Aaron. I'm sure we all love it. Don't you love the Fountain of Aaron? Good morning, everybody. I see you. I see a lot of Facebook users, and I wish I could see what your actual name is.
There's like a special thing.
Mel, Amelia, good morning, you guys. It's great to see you this morning.
Well, okay, so Mel Herbie, we can see her name, and she's on Facebook. So what did Mel have to do in order to be able to see? What did Daisy have to do, and Angie have to do in order for us to be able to see their names on Facebook? There's some kind of filter or setting, or You have to
See,
allow
now I
Facebook.
can see more of that. No, I see a lot of Facebook users.
You have to like allow Facebook to let us see your name because of the platform we're on. But anywho, there was a few things that we talked about. We talked about, okay, one of them is how to be intentional. One of them is what happens if you're not intentional.
Mhm.
We also talked about what happens if, or we'll also talk about what happens if you try to approach weight loss expecting that you'll be happy when you
When?
get there, versus what happens if you just learn how does the weight loss just literally happen automated if you learn to simply love yourself better. I say simply, it is simple. That doesn't mean it's easy. Simple and easy, two different things. Yes, ma'am.
I just love you.
Are you admiring me?
Yeah, I am. Listen.
She's holding my hand. So gay.
We're so gay.
We're also
also
matching.
so cute.
Are you wearing the same? No, because I'm wearing a dad
I'm
shirt.
not. Happiness is a choice.
That's
And gratitude is a choice. And whatever you choose to focus on, you're going to get more of. So, like I can choose to think about everything that, like I haven't accomplished yet, or, like everything that I'm not, or I can choose to focus on everything that I've already created. I can choose to focus on all the gifts that are already here. And, true bliss doesn't come with things. It comes with presence and in the pursuit of. And I believe that when you can be present in the pursuit of, you are going to continue to attract more of that, because it's such a good feeling that you want more of, that others want more of for you, that others want to be around you more. So it's almost like a state of magnetism.
Mhm.
The truth is that we're all magnets, but what are we magnetizing, right?
Yeah. Actually, this is funny. I use a big ass journal in addition to our journal, which you can find at shop.aaronandsarita.com.
Okay, so I ran out of my old journal yesterday.
She was
yesterday
fussy.
I started the new one, and you guys, fire.
She was really fussy about it at first because she's like, it's too small. And then this morning, or no, yesterday, you were like, actually really like it.
It's perfect. It's perfect. The other one was just, yeah, it's perfect.
It's clunky.
It
You just
really
have to get
is.
used to it. Just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I'd love to know from you guys. Anybody uses the ES journal? If so, go ahead, drop an ES.
The new ones are cool.
And if so, once you run out of your old ones, the new ones, you're gonna love even more. So powerful.
Okay, so I use this really huge one too, because I just throughout every day, I just like to take a bunch of notes. I also like to be able to view like an entire month calendar, like all at one time. And there's a quote on every single day, which is kind of cool. And I'm like, man, maybe we should just insert a quote on ours. But anyhow, this one says, happiness is a gift, and the trick is not to expect it, but to delight in it when it comes. And yesterday said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so today I actually, starting this video, I was like, what if we merged those two beautiful quotes by Margaret Wolf Hungerford and Douglas McGrath. And it said, happiness is in the eye of the beholder. I don't know. More thoughts from the mouth fountain of Aaron.
There should be a fountain that's like this.
I really feel very clever with making that up. So, okay, so let's first talk about like we all know this feeling of happiness. It's like, I feel joy, I feel light, I would actually love to know from you, like, what are the feelings that you feel when you think about happiness or being happy? And I think one of the reasons why I love to make people laugh is because in that moment, there's a level of happiness that is felt and expressed where it is impossible for anger or fear or jealousy or um, frustration to exist in the presence of happiness at the same
Mhm.
moment in time. It
Yeah.
is impossible. Positive and negative cannot exist in the same moment at the same time. They repel each other. It's like magnetic, the opposite side where it like pushes away.
Mhm.
And so, like, when we decide I'm going to be happy, what happens is then we start to learn how to love, how to respect, how to be present with ourselves. And this is the superpower of life. This is the energy generator of life, is to respect yourself. What does that also mean? So self-respect, self-love, self-care, like words that are thrown around all the time, self-love and self-care. And we think like, oh, self-care, like I'm going to take myself on a vacation. But what if you eat a bunch of garbage? Is that self-care? What about when you don't sleep at night? Is that self-care? Is that self-love? Um, and so we have to start thinking about not so much like, how do I lose weight, but how do I love myself better? Because when you love yourself better, you genuinely treat yourself better. And when you genuinely treat yourself better, you move your body out of appreciation and gratitude, not out of suffering and have to and um, punishment. You eat well because it's something that serves you and it makes you feel good, not because you have to, not because you have to force down broccoli. It's, what are the things that I can find that I can utilize and implement into my life that show my self-respect, show my self-love, but also then at the same time are going to make me healthier, make me more energized, help me to get leaner, lose some body fat that I don't need, that's weighing me down physically, mentally, and probably emotionally.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I actually came prepared.
I think we did another video on this a long time ago called The Chicken and the Egg. Like, which came first, happiness or weight loss?
Yeah. This we have mechanics too. So, like what are the elements of loving yourself? That can be the question. And,
Mm.
from my own experience, the elements go like this. So there is
And they go
actually
like this, and one, and two.
you help me to cultivate another one.
I'd love to know,
So
how are you loving yourself today? This is a challenge for you. How are you going to choose to love you today? And don't say, I'm going to do something that you already planned on doing. Actually, you could, but maybe it's something different. Maybe it challenges you to another extent so that you can take your game to the next level. Eh?
Mhm. Okay, so loving yourself has 5 steps. Step number 1
Ooh, we have
is
steps.
extreme ownership. Step number 2
I'm taking notes.
is grace. Step number 3 is presence and gratitude. Step number 4 is authenticity. And step number 5 is self-care.
Can you repeat those, please?
Yeah. 1, extreme ownership. 2, grace. 3, presence and gratitude. 4, authenticity. And 5, self-care. So
We could literally make a video on every single one of these.
yes, we can. So
What does it mean to take extreme ownership? What does it mean to have grace?
So extreme ownership means that you follow through with what you said you're going to do. And this is a game of self-respect. And, I will say, for the most part, take a look at your relationships or the quality of your relationships. And, like this will prevail to you. What is the quality of your life like? Because
Maybe reveal.
reveal. Yeah.
Prevail, reveal.
Because
Tomato.
how others treat you is a mirror of how you treat them, and how you treat other people is a mirror of how you treat yourself. So, for example, if other people treat you with respect, it's because you treat yourself and others with respect. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Now, what is respect? Respect,
I know.
what?
RESPCT. Find out what it means to
Yes.
me.
Yes.
RESPCT.
Oh.
Anybody know what that says?
So think about anybody that you respect. Are you going to show up all the way for them? Are you going to go the extra mile because you're going to try to impress them, level up to them, um, you know, that sort of thing? Or are you just going to show up carelessly? Something to think about. So, taking extreme ownership is taking ownership for everything that you are and everything that you're not, for everything that you've done and for everything that you haven't done. And this is why we say it's not about you being perfect, but it is about you being fully accountable to everything. Like, for example, from a coaching standpoint, better for you to show up fully and come up short than try to, like hide things because you fell short. No, that's not taking extreme ownership. That's you just, like trying to cut yourself short. And it's not going to help you grow. And it's not going to help you to step up to the plate. So taking extreme ownership means that you're setting an intention and you're going to do everything that you can to follow through with that. And, should you ever fall off from following through, you take ownership for what caused that. And you take responsibility that you are the one who have led to that causation. And that is something that's really hard for a lot of people to grasp because they don't want to take responsibility for their shortcomings. But the truth is that if you fell short, it's your fault. It is. And it doesn't make you a bad person. Sometimes you could have fallen short because you didn't know, or because maybe, if you're being honest with yourself, you didn't take yourself far enough outside of your comfort zone. Either way, you're still the creator for all things, for better or for worse. So taking extreme ownership means that, you are taking responsibility for everything that there is and for everything that there isn't. And, it takes humility, because sometimes you're not going to show up like, the most perfect person. However, it gives you the opportunity for growth, because when you treat every day like that, you continuously step up to the plate. And it's not about where you're at right now. It is about what you're creating over time, in a few weeks, in a few months, in a few years, in a few decades.
You mentioned relationships and how people treat you is a good indication of how you either treat yourself or treat other people.
Mhm.
And I saw Daisy's question about people pleasers, because they'll do anything to please somebody else, but they won't do anything for themselves. The opposite side of this is true when it comes to boundaries. If you're not setting boundaries for yourself, it's also a form of disrespect, because you have no guideline for how you live your life, who you let in, when you let them in. What ends up happening is everything else takes over your schedule and you have no control. You are out of control, which means lack of self-control, which means there's an opportunity to better respect and love and care for yourself by having greater control in the boundaries that you set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being a people pleaser and having quality relationships is completely different. If you are more concerned about pleasing other people rather than doing what's right for you, then you are going to always fall short. Because, like, extend yourself everywhere, you're nowhere. You know what I mean? So
Stretch Armstrong breaks eventually.
Yeah. So extreme ownership, that's one. Do you want to add anything else to that?
No.
Okay. So the second part is grace. Okay. When you take extreme ownership, you're going to fall short. You are going to fail.
This is the hard. I don't know if this is the hardest one. This is extremely difficult for high achievers. This is like one of the biggest areas of opportunity I know we've had to step into.
Yeah. So, like having grace to, like accept yourself for your shortcomings.
Anyone competitive, any high achieving individual, anybody who really wants to excel in something and expects a lot of themselves, this is a big opportunity usually, because you question all the time if you did it yesterday. After your workout, you said, wow, like my physical body was like exhausted to the point like I could not even keep going. Am I being a little bitch? And am I just like not committed enough? Or did my body reach a point of physical fatigue? And when somebody is really wanting to be the best that they can be, it's funny. I forget who said this, and I don't remember exactly how they said it, but it was something along the lines of the people who are doing the most always ask themselves, am I doing enough? And the people who are not doing anything always ask themselves when they can rest. Like, when do I get more rest?
Yeah.
Or when can I go on vacation or something like that? And that is exactly, like, it's the grace to understand I'm a human.
Yeah.
I have imperfections.
Yeah.
Did I do my best? Yeah. But if it wasn't what I expected, but I did my best, I can have grace on the fact that I didn't get the exact result that I was hoping for. And then you learn and you try again.
Yeah. So having grace with yourself, it allows you to accept yourself for who you are, with your imperfections.
While still making an effort to improve.
And this is why extreme ownership comes first. Because if you're just like, oh yeah, I'm going to have grace with myself, I'm just going to have a cupcake. Like, no.
There's
No,
justifications
if you're all in all grace, no extreme ownership, then you will be too soft.
This is a good like teeter-totter visual, right? Like grace and justification are two different. They live on different sides of the teeter-totter. Grace and justification.
Yeah.
Or ownership and grace.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but as soon as like you release any kind of ownership, the grace becomes a justification.
Yeah.
It's no longer grace.
Yeah.
Or an excuse.
My recommendation, and I would say, so many times I see people holding on to things from the past. And I would recommend, if there's anything you want to give yourself grace for, is your past.
You can't change that shit.
Because you can't. Like, for example, like my mom, she, up till today, she continuously beats herself up. She's like, oh, if I could have done this parenting thing all over it again, and I would have done this, and that. And I'm like, well, the truth is that, you've raised two pretty amazing children. And, you can beat yourself up for everything that you haven't done, or you can have grace with yourself, move on from it. And point number 3 is have presence, because when you're not allowing grace in and you're dragging all this baggage from the past, you are actually denying yourself the state of presence. And presence is, an indicator to being open to receiving gratitude. Gratitude is a state that allows you to receive all the great things in life. And I have found that gratitude can truly only be felt in a state of presence. It is really hard to be so grateful for what's going to be 10 years from now. Sure, that's more manifestation, but that's not like gratitude in the moment. For the past, there's only so much gratitude you can have. So like the most heartfelt gratitude happens when you are in the presence. Like, what gifts am I experiencing right now?
Yeah, you Grace was flown straight into presence and gratitude very nicely there. And I think that we spend more time than necessary in the past. Is thinking about the past a complete waste of time? That's like saying it's a waste of time to look in your rear view mirror while you're driving, to glance up for a second to make sure all of the shit's good behind you. When you're braking really fast, to glance up to make sure the person behind you is braking, or do you need to like get the out the way? Like it's okay to glance, because I also believe the importance of recognizing where you came from, what you have accomplished, what you could have done better. And in order to do those things, you have to glance up in the rearview mirror and look back for a second. But I think way too many people spend way too much time there. Either, oh, well, I like holding on to like I was the valedictorian of the whatever, or I was the student body president in high school, but you're 45 and you live in your mom's basement. I don't give a shit about what happened in high school. And neither do you, because what matters is what we do now. Same thing for any trauma, anything that happened, or any shortcomings that you may have had. We cannot erase it. We can't make the past different. It exists. It always will have existed. That's how it is. However, we do have a choice in how we move forward, and that is 100% our responsibility.
Yeah, so many times I see people being so upset with themselves for what was. I'm like, well, the truth is that you have no control over your past. So you can either choose to learn from it and let it go to make sure it doesn't repeat itself, or the more you focus on it, the more you're reliving it, which means that you're actually taking away from that state of presence and gratitude. And like it's like you're blocking yourself. You know what I mean?
I want to throw out a disclaimer because I just thought about something that I said. And this is so minor, but like I thought about it, so I want to mention it. The 45-year-old living in mom's basement applies to any fully functioning human being, not like an adult with extreme disabilities or something like that. Is a very different situation. But if you are an independent person capable of doing normal life on your own, like it's just what we do in our future is completely our responsibility.
Yeah.
And so that goes back then to ownership.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why ownership is one. And then the next one is authenticity. Daisy, you mentioned people pleasing. So many people care so much to please other people that they're actually not providing themselves the opportunity to be themselves. Like if you look at a dog, why are dogs like, notice dogs are always really happy. Why? They're always present, right? They don't know anything different other than
They don't know
present.
future. They know past because they can react if they're scared because of a past experience.
Sure.
But they're always right. They're always
right
now.
That's instinctive too, right? And they're themselves. They don't know to be anything other than themselves.
A dog doesn't know how to be a squirrel.
Right.
Boogie doesn't know how to be Callie.
Callie doesn't know how to be Boogie.
She tries.
She tries to imitate. Imitation is great, right? Be you. However, so many times, like with the concept of fitting in and people pleasing, we never try to, look inside ourselves and ask ourselves, like, what are we about? Like if I was to fully be me, what would that look like? And when you are denying yourselves of authenticity, you're also denying yourself of present, because you're so concerned about everything else and what's outside that you're not able to live within, right? And presence and gratitude comes from living within, not with, oh, I wonder what my neighbor thinks about my car, or I wonder what this person thinks about my outfit, or like
the shape of my body, the color of my hair, the mole on my face, the this, the that.
Yeah.
I think that the person who created the word presence was onto something, because it is a gift.
Yeah.
Presents, like Christmas. Every day when you're present, you're giving yourself a present. It's a gift.
Yeah. And then the last piece is self-care. You love your house, you're going to make sure that it's clean. You love your house, you're going to make sure that it's upkept. Right? You love your house, you're going to make sure that it looks, it feels fresh and everything is working well, and everything is in order. And the same thing goes for you. You love yourself, you're going to take care of you, because you understand that your appearance is a manifestation of your standards. Right? So if you appear,
wait, say it again.
Your appearance is a manifestation of your standards. So, if you appear to be sloppy, it is because, you're falling short on a couple of things. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that there is an opportunity for your standards to be raised. If you're overweight, then, your standards with regards to how you treat your body need improvement. You've either let a lot of time slide by, or you just lost sight of, how to take care of yourself. Or perhaps something that we find a lot in our community is when we hear women say, I lost sight of who I was.
Yeah, I lost who I was.
I lost sight of who I was. Like, I don't know who I am, right? Because we live in a society that puts us in this box. Do this, be that. So you never take a moment to think about, like, wait, like, let me sit with myself for a second. What do I really want? Because we always try to, like that people pleasing thing, live up to other people's expectations. Like, no, live up to your own expectations, whatever that looks like. Right? And that's why it starts with extreme ownership, because you got to take extreme ownership for the expectations that you have set for yourself. Too many people try to live so high to other people's expectations. Meanwhile, they don't have expectations of themselves. So, like, they graduate high school and they go to college, and, like they buy this white picket fence home, and they get married, and, like they drive a nice Mercedes, and then, like, they're 45, 50 years old, and they're like, shit, what happened to me? I'm out of shape. I don't know who I am. I'm anxious. I'm depressed. Like, what is life all about anyways? It happens, so all that to say, it is, happiness comes in the pursuit, and we're all pursuing something that truly all it is a better version of ourselves. And I'm not here to sit here and tell you, oh, like, this is what your better version of yourself should be like. No, that's not my responsibility, because that will be me taking away your authenticity. Right? And the same thing goes for us, right? Like, what you may want is different from what Erin and I, are pursuing. And, like, we all need to take accountability for, all of our shortcomings and all of our accomplishments. We need to have grace with ourselves for everything that we haven't yet achieved, and extract the lessons from it, and, live authentically, so that we can be more in this present moment, because ultimately that's when we're able to truly, accept the gift of life, which is called gratitude. And when we do that, then we want to show up for ourselves, because it's a matter of, I get to show up for myself, because when I do this, I accept that this will happen. When I do this, I accept that this will happen. When I eat a cleaner meal, I accept for my joints to feel less inflamed. When I move my body, I accept for my muscles to want to reveal themselves. When I drink water, I accept for myself to feel less bloated because my things are moving better, right? When I give myself 5, 10, 15 minutes of peace, I am able to appreciate more. And therefore, I want to continue to show up for myself because that's what life is all about. So, all that is to say that, this is a journey that's full of different destinations, and you're the artist. You get to choose, like, what canvas do you want to paint? And,
Or the writer, what chapter do you want to write?
yeah. And, like, ask any artist or any writer, like, about their work, and they will always tell you, my best work happened only from a state of presence and love. Always. There's never like something great happening from a state of, what's the word? When you're really like, it's not even ungrateful. It's like the extreme of that resentment. Like you
have to.
Right. Like it is impossible to not just get to your goal weight, but stay there when you're coming from a place of resentment. I hate myself, therefore I'm going to starve myself so I will look this way. You're going to get more of that, and then you're going to gain the weight.
It's a place of
trust me, I've been there.
It's a place of have to. And one last thing that I want to say on this is Sarit and I are currently doing a leadership program, and it's intense. It's like a boot camp. And one thing that really stood out to me that I've been absorbing over the last couple of weeks is we are human beings, not human doings. And when you take ownership, extreme ownership, and you take responsibility for your life, it is easy and almost automatic in our society to become a human doing. And, I've got to check off the boxes and the tasks, and I've got to, get this list of things done. And it's great to be structured and have targets and tasks and things like that.
And you should.
But to remember that I am not called a human doing. I am called a human being. And so something that I have been asking myself more often, and I want it to be even more often, but more often than before, is who am I being in this activity? Who am I being in this exercise that I'm doing? Who am I being in this box that I'm checking off right now, that I'm working on checking off? Who am I being? And, we really if you can't tell, are extremely passionate, not just about helping you to lose weight and feel great about yourself physically, but understanding that the path to that is learning how to care about and care for yourself emotionally and mentally in the state of presence and being. How am I being? Am I being patient? Am I being present? Am I being loving? Am I being grateful? Am I being all these adjectives that describe how you could be? What are you being? And, the Transformation Kickstart Challenge is a massive, massive gateway to how we can just explode everything that we know, everything that we've learned about weight loss through this unique path that is so not mainstream, that has transformed so many people's lives. And we're going to actually be doing another one way sooner than we had anticipated. And I'm sure anybody had anticipated, because it truly is one of the things that we have the biggest impact on. And so why wouldn't we rinse and repeat? Now, there's going to be a lot of new people coming into the community. If you've already done the TKC, you're absolutely welcome, to join us again. It's going to be starting on the 30th.
Yeah, next Monday.
January 30th. So we'll drop a link. The link will be easier. Right now it's special.aaronandsarit.com/TKC1. Okay, it's complicated. So I'll drop it in the link in the chat. But this is just 5 days with us where we get to spend time with you. We almost clear our calendars to focus fully 100% on you, on the community, on your forward movement as a human being and leveling up. And so this is just a great opportunity for you. If you've already been there, great, to keep yourself immersed, to keep yourself learning. Not everybody can afford all of the programs that we run and that we do, and that's completely fine. This is a wonderful opportunity to be able to take away without having to kill your bank account. And then there is, of course, like for people who that is for, to be able to work a little bit closer with us and do things like that, the 8-week raw transformation program. So drop the link to the TKC just so that you guys can come jump in with us again. There's going to be a lot of new people. Would love to see some familiar faces too as well, though. And just remember, you are a human being, not a human doing. So how are you going to be today to show yourself that you genuinely respect yourself? And that is the path to anything that you could want in life.
I love that message. So, the law of reciprocity. If you've gained value from today's conversation, pay it forward and continue the flow, right? Like life is,
share it on
it's like a river. Share it on your Facebook, share it with your loved ones. As a matter of fact, share the TKC.
This video specifically is, I think, a number one topic that any woman especially
can relate to,
whether or not they want to lose weight. And, the majority of existing females do want to change their physical body in some capacity or another. And so this is absolutely just an amazing episode. All you have to do is click the share. We don't ask much from you, just that you show up for yourself so that we can create a ripple effect even through you. So that's our ask for you. Share it. I don't know, email it, text it to your friend, share it on your Facebook page or Instagram. I don't know, whatever.
You know what to do.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.